Hello, happy Tuesday, July 12th. Today is actually Prime Day, and so I was thinking about filming a similar video, this video, with a different topic in mind for a very long, not for a very long time, but for like a good week and a half, 2 weeks, which is a long time when it comes to creating content, I guess. To have a video idea at the forefront and to not act on it, that's a long time. But I was thinking about shame for a number of reasons, and I feel like I'm witnessing it firsthand now during Amazon Prime Day, even though it's 2 days. It was yesterday and it's today, so it's Amazon Prime Days. But let's just talk. So I recently read Brene Brown's book. I thought it was just me, but it isn't. And Brene Brown is a social worker like me. She's a clinician like me. She's a researcher like me, but she's like an actual researcher. And I just do my own little research studies, like with my students or with my clients or whatever. I'm not a world renowned researcher, but Brene Brown is. And so all hail Brene Brown is what I'm trying to say. And for whatever reason, I have decided that I want to read Brene Brown's books. And so I started with I Thought It Was Just Me, but It Isn't, which is a book about shame. So Brene Brown is researching and has done a lot of research around women and shame. And what she shared in the book is that women especially experience shame in so many ways, to include body image, mental health, physical health, parenting, family, money and finances. I mean, you name it. There are so many ways apparently that women experience shame, per all of the women that she has conducted studies or interviews with. And she is starting to actually do some research around men and shame. And I think she'll be like one of the pilots for that, perhaps, I think, is what I read in the book, because there aren't a lot of other studies and researchers who are researching men and shame. So she was saying she is going to be diving into that. She might have already dove into that, for all I know. I'm just getting started with reading her books. I don't know when any of these books have released. I'm just reading them, so they could be old for all I know. But all I'm saying is, she was talking about in this book how women experience shame. And then that made me think about how women might experience shame when it comes to money, and how probably men experience shame when it comes to money too, but it might be a little bit differently for women, for whatever that means. But fast forward to now, and I'm on Instagram minding my business, as I always am, and I'm scrolling and I'm seeing these Prime Day posts. Now, I didn't know it was Prime Day. I don't even get on Amazon, but like once a week. I don't even open the app, but like once a week. So I was unaware of the happenings and that it was Prime Day. And so I just started seeing a bunch of posts from Prime Day. We have some influencers who are sharing products and links and telling people good deals that they found that they might consider taking advantage of. There are other people who are realizing that it's Prime Day like me, and now they have decided to put together, catalogs or whatever, so folks can shop their favorites from Amazon. And then there are people who are just not promoting anything, like me, because they haven't shopped Amazon Prime Day, or they just are sucking, I guess, as an influencer. But what I thought was interesting, hear me out, what I have been finding to be interesting is the posts from money influencers such as myself. And I saw one influencer talking about how, I saw several influencers talking about how much Jeff, the owner of Amazon, makes, and how there's really no point to, like, don't shop Amazon Prime because he already makes like $1 million per second or something or whatever. So don't concern yourself with shopping Amazon Prime. Shop something else, spend money elsewhere instead of putting it in Jeff's pockets, because he's already a billionaire. Several money influencers talking about that. Then I saw a money influencer talking about how, what was that person talking about? It was important. Dang, it just slipped my mind. They were talking about, I literally just forgot. It was like a similar thing. It was basically like saying no need to shop with Amazon Prime Day. Oh, they were talking about how the prices probably aren't really like a good price because there's some kind, I think it's called price gouging or something. There's some kind of phenomenon where companies will price before some big sale that they're having, they will price items at accordingly at whatever that might be for them, whatever accordingly looks like. And then whenever the sale happens, they will actually lower the price, but that lowered price is actually the regular price. It's not really a sale price because beforehand that accordingly price was a higher price, perhaps. Basically, they're saying that it's a scam. Some of these deals aren't really deals. You might want to check into it and do research before you go out and make some purchases. And so anyway, I was just thinking, I can't imagine the amount of shame that is taking place just regularly when it comes to finances, but especially during these times, because like I said, all the money influencers are saying, don't shop Amazon Prime Day, don't make Jeff richer, and use your money to invest or use your whatever. And so I'm reading the comments and people are like, yeah, instead of doing that, actually, you know, some person was saying you should research before you make a purchase. Somebody commented and they were like, actually, don't even research if that's a good deal or not. Actually research, I don't know, the S&P or something with investing, and then invest your money. Like basically saying, don't shop Amazon Prime, don't do your research, just don't have anything to do with it, but rather use your money in a more effective way, like investing and saving and all the things. And so that's when it hit me and I was thinking, oh my God, this is just 2 days out the year where a lot of people are telling people how not to spend their money and that they shouldn't spend their money that way. So then I was thinking, you know, when I take a step back and I just observe and I reflect, I'm like, wow, that's kind of the same narrative that's already being pushed anyway from a lot of money influencers, and it's just like amped up today. But otherwise, money influencers are still suggesting that people basically spend their money how they are spending their money, or how they feel like they should spend their money, how the influencer feels like they should spend their money. And so they're just regularly just trying to push the narrative that people should spend their money on investing and saving and not buying into, you know, all the deals and whatever. And so I get it. It makes sense. But it's always been a little uncomfortable for me because I have never had that angle. All I do on here is get on here and share how we are spending and saving our money. And I share tips and tricks on how we do that. And I am super sure to kind of talk about how other people can do that and educate people on that and not try to shame or criticize people on how they spend their money. And I probably the reason why I probably don't do that is because I don't have any room to talk, if we're being honest, because oftentimes we come over budget. Oftentimes we spend money on frivolous things that other people probably wouldn't. When it's all said and done, to me, it doesn't really matter how I spend my money. So the point that I'm trying to make is, if you are feeling any shame from influencers or from people in your life about money, you might consider not interacting with their content, because I feel like life is already hard enough. It's even more difficult when you're trying to look to try to get education on how to effectively manage your money, which a lot of people do, because a lot of people did not get that skill from home or school or wherever. They just were not taught how to effectively manage money. And so in a world where people are looking online for, you know, content creators and educators to help them, I just think it's tragic to think that some people could be being shamed for their money choices and they don't even know it. And there are lots of money influencers who, big and small, who shame people without maybe even knowing it. And so I just want to say that if you are following those people, maybe consider unfollowing them, and to just really take a deep dive into if you are experiencing shame around money and what is triggering that. Because the point that I want to drive home here is Brene suggests that the more time we put into learning about our shame triggers, like what triggers our shame, the more we can become shame resilient, which is being able to deal with shame accordingly and not letting it run and ruin your whole life. And so that's my suggestion to you, is to spend some time thinking about your shame triggers when it comes to money, and then adjusting your path forward accordingly. Like I said, it might be having conversations with certain people in your family. That might be unfollowing certain people online, or whatever it is that you need to do. But it was just something that I was thinking about. And so in a world where people are shaming other people, I just feel like I would be remiss to not share that, you know, maybe the person, you know, the people are saying don't shop Amazon Prime. Maybe you don't need to shop Amazon Prime. You know, I didn't need anything from Amazon, from the Prime Day stuff, until I got on the Amazon app to check out what the deals were. And then I found some deals. I haven't purchased anything just yet, but there are some legit deals on there. And I may take advantage of them. I'm not really sure. But as I was just going through my cart, I guess I was thinking in the back of my head, I'm like, what am I doing on this app? I was just on Instagram. The folks were shaming me into not getting on Amazon and buying anything. I'm not supposed to be on here making Jeff $1 million richer, or whatever the case is. And I just had those thoughts as I was scrolling through Amazon. Like, I probably haven't purchased anything because of shame. Not really, but we definitely don't have. I have like $100 worth of stuff. That's not terrible. And probably $50 is for my dog, which she does need some new stuff. And so I may go ahead and make the purchase. But the moral of the story is, I urge you to identify what your shame triggers are, especially around money, and to work to remove those shame triggers from your life, because in doing so, you become more resilient to shame, which means that you can deal with it and you can cope with it better and more effectively. And also think about your shame. If you experience shame when it comes to other areas of life, like body image and physical health and all of that, and identifying what triggers your shame. Apparently, a lot of people and a lot of people's words trigger our shame. And so that's kind of why I'm making this video in the beginning. And so anyway, if you're experiencing shame, just know that you're probably not alone. That's another thing that I learned from the book, which is that apparently when we can be more open and honest and vulnerable with people, we can create a connection. And so people can find out that it's not just them, it's other people too. They talked a lot about like pregnancy and stuff like that, like having your first child and your stuff like that. She talked a lot about how that can be shameful and how it's just a lot of stuff. Basically, the more that we can connect with people and be open and honest with other people instead of putting on a front, because a lot of people will, because they're not shame resilient and because they don't know how to deal with their own shame, they essentially shame other people. So basically, the less ashamed that you can become, the more open the more accepting you can become of other people. And that will just create a domino effect, apparently. And so everybody will not be as shameful, apparently. Is that the word? Shameful? Yeah, shameful. When people who shame, are they being shameful? Shaming, I guess is probably the word. But anyway, I want to know, what are your thoughts on shame, and do you experience shame when it comes to money? Do you know what your shame triggers are? You'll have to let me know in the comment section. This is just a random video that probably shouldn't even be a video, but I was just thinking so much about how so easily we can be shamed when it comes to money and how we spend our money. And I think it's tragic. I think it's tragic that of all the things to be ashamed about and to be shamed for, that money is one of those things. Isn't it wild? Like, it's just wild that money holds enough power for us to feel ashamed. And I could go on and on and on, because the fact of the matter is, I just feel like there's so much that goes into it. But I guess I would be here all day if I was talking about all the things that I feel like go into it. But you'll have to let me know. Do you experience shame when it comes to money? Do you know any of your money triggers? What's a way that you have experienced shame? I don't know. I just want this to be a safe space because I definitely have experienced it in a plethora of ways, in many different ways. And I guess I just kind of let it roll. I don't know. I just don't view it as a big deal, although it probably is a bigger deal than what I have thought it to be. So you'll have to let me know. So anyway, that's going to be it for this video. If you're shopping Prime Day, happy shopping. I will say, leave it in your cart for like 5 hours before the time's almost up now. Yesterday I would have said leave it in your cart until today, but if something's in your cart, I will have to say leave it in there for a few hours before you purchase it. That's me talking to myself, because I have stuff in my cart and I haven't thought of any of those things. Like, I haven't so much. I don't even know really what's in there exactly. I know the dog stuff, but I don't know what else is in there. Probably stuff I don't need. But either way, it doesn't really matter, because you have the choice to do whatever you want to do with your money. I always say this all the time. First of all, unless the way a person is handling their money negatively impacts your life directly, it really doesn't matter. Truly, it doesn't matter. Like, it really doesn't matter. If I blew through all of my excess money in any given month, or if my husband and I both agreed to blow through all of our excess money every month on something like that might be trivial, like traveling, trivial to some people, or eating out, or whatever the case is, yet we don't ever ask anyone else for money, and we pay all of our major bills and take care of all of our expenses on our own, and we're not reaching out for help from other people, then it literally does not matter at all if we choose to do that or not. And I say that all the time. Until your spending and saving habits, or until the way that you manage your money negatively impacts other people, either in your household or outside of your household, then you're kind of free to do whatever you want to do. You know, you can't spend all your money and then keep asking people for money over and over and over again, because that's affecting other people, because they feel the need to, you know, a lot of people want to help out people and give people money, and they don't want to see them suffer. But until that happens, you're pretty much free to spend your money how you see fit. Because, you know, I was thinking too, if we can retire early, we want to. But we're really just in a phase of life where I can't be shamed when it comes to money, first of all. And then second of all, it's just that, you know, it is what it is. We're trying our best. We're living through a pandemic. My apples cost $2.06 per apple. My favorite apples are an arm and a leg. Everything's expensive. I barely can keep up. I just went grocery shopping for 3 people, over $200. Like, it's just absurd. It's out of this world. Stuff's expensive, and you know, right now is not a good time to be receptive to people's shame at this moment. Just goes out to everybody. Right now, it's not a good time to be receptive to people's shame, because it's a hard time right now. And I think that's kind of what triggered, I probably should have led with that. That's probably what kind of triggered this video and my thoughts in general, is that we're actually living in a pretty difficult time. And so if you're not moving mountains with your money right now, then it's fine. Like, what are the repercussions? Like, you know, there's so much going on. The student loan forgiveness being shot down, this, and it's just a rough time all in all. We're post-pandemic, if that's what you want to call it. It's just a rough time right now. And so this just isn't a time to be trying to shame people and trying to shame them into doing with their money what the person who is shaming is doing with their money. But some people don't even realize that they're being shameful, but some people are. But anyway, I just wanted to throw that out there. It's a lot of shame going on around here. I hope to never take any part in any of it. I don't know. Those are just my thoughts. Let me know your thoughts down below. No, I'm not editing this video because it's 20 minutes and that's already doing too much. If it were like 10, I would have considered it. At 20 minutes, it's a no for me. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a like. If you are shopping Amazon Prime Day, let me know in the comments what you are purchasing. I might need it, like, who knows? And not really, because sometimes I'm seeing influencers share what they feel like is a good deal, and I'm like, I don't want that. Like, I don't even have enough money for that. Like, they're sharing stuff that's a lot of money, and in my head I'm thinking, I don't have enough for that. What I really want is a robot vacuum, another one, and I can't find one that's decently priced. So I don't know. If you found one, let me know. Just kidding. But I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a like. Subscribe if you're new and if you're liking what you're seeing. And I will catch you guys right back here in a few days in a brand new video. Bye, guys.